every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. I truly love you all. That's why I do what I do. No other reason in the world. So that's what you all should do, folks. That is a real key to surviving the mess that we're in. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Cultivate a genuine love for life being. Be genuinely grateful and thankful to the infinite creator every day for bringing you into being. I mean, come on, folks, look around you. It's a pretty incredible world we have here. And life is just amazing, don't you think? I mean, especially when one considers the alternative. I mean, this is a lot better than that. Be thankful for the world. Be thankful for this world. I mean, we've survived this far, haven't we? And haven't you? You've survived this far. You may not have everything you want, but really you've got everything you need in order to complete that which you came here to do. Give thanks for that.
You've got to go into this battle with love in your heart. I think meditation is important. Meditation is good for inner strength. It's good for knowing who and what you are, discovering that, figuring out how to work with your own emotions and how to work with your own energies and how to work with your own powers. Because we're all incredibly powerful, folks. We all have these incredible energetic connections if we can just be aware of them. But I still believe in the human spirit. I still believe in the human race. I still believe that there's a peaceful way through this, because I believe that once people remember who and what they are, they'll just see how easy it would be to change things. So that's always been the focus. Don't allow yourself to believe anything. If you're going to believe in anything, believe in your own sovereignty, believe in your own freedom, believe in your own power to make change, your own power to have the idea that could change the world. No matter what your status in society, no matter whether you're rich or poor or physically able or not, you could still have the idea that could change the world, because everything that we see here is all based on ideas, just an idea. But anyway, folks, the journey goes on. It's an interesting journey, and it seems to have a great many twists and turns, and who knows where it's going to go next. One hell of a ride, that's for sure.
And when we break out of these belief systems, which are often related to insecurity, because it's like you want to belong to a group because you feel more secure, or you want to have a belief system because, oh no, I found out what I believe now and I can leave that alone and get on with my life and all that stuff. But when the people used to come around my house as a kid and used to say to me, Mother, what religion are you? She thought, we're Christian. No, we're not. No, we weren't. But it was something that, oh yeah, I'll be a Christian because then I've got to be something. Well, we haven't. We can be all that is, has been, and ever will be. We don't have to be a Christian. We don't have to be a Muslim. We don't have to be a Jew. We don't have to be a Hindu or any of the bloody prisons of the mind. We can be all that is. And it's a thing that I say sometimes. If people can tell me what they believe, if they can give a name to what they believe, they're in a prison. Because we just are. Everything just is. It's not just, I think, therefore I am, computer level, or I compute, therefore I am. It's I am, therefore I am. That's the real level of being. I am all that is, has been, and ever will be. I do not need to put a name to what I believe, because I just am. I am the force with no name and all names. I am all things and I'm no things. I'm everything and nothing. I'm everywhere and nowhere. Because I am all that is, therefore I'm all possibility. And when we do that, these neurons, pathways and networks stop firing off in relation to the rigid belief system and filtering reality for us. So now we can open to all possibility instead of being stuck with one or two possibilities called belief systems, which hold us in servitude and limitation for entire lives in these vibrational boxes that therefore come from these belief systems. We can be honest with ourselves as we break out of these belief systems. Crucial. Cognitive dissonance is not a bad thing. It's the way it's used that puts us in a state of enslavement because of it. If we are honest with ourselves, people that have belief systems of various kinds, who say, when I come into contact with experience or information that challenges my belief system, I'm not going to hold on till my knuckles turn white. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to look at this, and if it makes sense, I'm going to change the way I see the world. Cognitive dissonance then is a positive thing, and we move on. You know, people get embarrassed because they believe something and then suddenly realize that it's actually a nonsense. But they shouldn't get embarrassed, because we live in a world where from cradle to grave we are pummeled with manipulation to believe things and take on belief systems that allow the few to control the many. Instead of being embarrassed when we suss it, we should be celebrating that we've sussed it, because we're no longer in servitude. And we can break out of these schizophrenias where, according to Doublethink and Orwell, we take on these contradictory views like war is peace and all the rest of it. Again, honesty, and say, hold on, that doesn't make sense. Because go back to consciousness. Does consciousness do war? No, consciousness does peace in its pure state. Therefore, anything that is being justified for war and slaughter and pain and suffering is by definition unsupportable. So instead of saying, well, we have a war and I'm going to explain it away because I'm fighting for peace, rubbish. War, end of story, no, unjustifiable, and therefore I'm not going to justify it under any means. Then the schizophrenias start to fall. We're not justifying the unjustifiable anymore. We're saying it's not justified, no longer has my support. And now the schizophrenia is breaking because we're no longer supporting two contradictory things. We're taking a point of view of consciousness, peace, love, caring, empathy, compassion, and anything that is contradictory to that, we're not interested in. The schizophrenia starts to break up. And all these things are breaking down it's like a web that we're caught in, the strands pulled off as we start to break down the contradictions of being honest with ourselves in terms of our belief system. And we move from consciousness or to consciousness from mind.
Now, if you have a negative thought or an unhappy thought or a self-depreciating thought, you turn on a different set of circuits and a different combination, a different sequence and a different pattern that produces a different level of mind. And the brain then begins to make a different batch of chemicals that signals the body for you to begin to feel exactly the way you were just thinking, negative or unhappy or unworthy. So the moment you begin to feel the way you think, because the brain is in constant communication with your body, you begin to think the way you feel, which makes more chemicals for you to feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel, and then you feel the way you think, and then you think the way you feel. And some people do this for 20 or 30 or 40 years. Now, the redundancy of that cycle over time creates what I call a state of being. And a state of being is when your mind and body are working together, or your thoughts and feelings are aligned to a concept. So thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And as people get caught in this cycle of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking, over time, they condition their body to memorize that emotion as well as the conscious mind. And whenever the body knows as well as the mind, that's called a habit. A habit is when your body is the mind. Now, 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, set of emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, attitudes that run just like a computer program. So 5% of your conscious mind begins to work against 95% of what you've memorized. So the person wants to think positively, but they're feeling negatively. They want to create their dream board, and put up their future life, but they feel unworthy. That's mind and body in opposition.